My speech will only take 3 hours, so just lean back, just enjoy what I'm speaking. I'm the last one, so after me you are free. And the most important of all is, I've planned for 3 hours, but I have to say that every of my speakers before me have said everything what I wanted to say. About the finance, we now know where the money is. Andreas has the money, we know now where the financing is. The financing is the German bank, we know how is the valuation, and we are sure that everything is wonderful, secure. There's a supervisory board, a regulation, and everything like this is, so it's everything great doing, even in Poland. So I am lucky that I can just start. I have only one slide, so I have more slides than Joern. I'm really proud of this, that I have one slide, and I will put everything on this slide. And together I have my black book where everything important is. It's my black. I have not a red book like Mao. I have a red book, a black book. So I have to start with the first one. And I think the most important is what today we have learned everywhere. Money is not the problem. Yeah, because the theme of the panel is shape the deal that the money will come. The money will come if you have a good project. So the money is not the problem. There is the money. There's a lot of money. It's regulatory, supervisory. There are equity money. There's leverage. There is bank finance. Everything is. What you need is a project, especially in Poland. Poland is one for the long time, the only country where in the Central and Eastern Europe you have green light. Every bank all the time was financing office building, residence, retail, everything in Poland. All the time it was financing. It was not like Hungary, not like the other countries. All the time it was like this. We have now the dos and don'ts, what you have to do. I will do this on this, what I wrote you. And I will a little bit more concentrate just on flashpoints. Because the really important is that, Chris, what you've said about England, 20% is just domestic England, but the rest is the same for me. As for financing, everything what you say is the same. So I will just put some flashpoints, what especially for Poland. Know your business partner. This is really important. There's the so-called Warsaw culture. The so-called Warsaw culture, it means that everybody is running and knows everybody and saying that he knows somebody, that he has a project, just come to me and I will do it for you. We have this, last year we have one project where even this man has the power of attorney signed by a notary. And it was a falsificate. It was false, it was not true. Yeah, even this was happened. So you have to know your business partner really from the beginning, what he has, what he's doing, for whom he's speaking, everything like this. We call it, I'm from Gdansk, and not from Warsaw, we call it the Warsaw culture, yes, that everybody knows everybody. Know the market. I think the really important on the market is if you do something, and this Marcus from the Deutsche Bank has said, in Poland it's now exactly the same. We have in Warsaw all the time they wanted just to finance in the A location. A location, it was the so-called central business district. It was the inner city of Warsaw. It's now looking like a little bit like Frankfurt, Manhattan, and like New York. Everywhere there are big houses, the office buildings spreading out of the ground. It's like this. This A location in Warsaw is going a little bit more to the B location, somewhere to new districts near to the central business districts, and the banks are there searching. The banks has now the situation, if there's a good project, they are beating for this. They are beating for these projects, and the margin is going down, and it's going down, and you will see it later. That it's really a hard situation, I think, now for the banks. In Warsaw, they are really beating for good projects. And they are starting now since 2 years, go to the province. Province, it means in Poland there are big cities with mostly, for example, Gdansk, there's a free city report, they have 1 million. Katowice himself has just 200,000, but it's the area of 4 million industry people living there. We have Poznan, where it's 600,000 in the city, but a million area around this. So we have big areas, big B locations, B cities, like you said, the big 6 in UK. We have our big 4 or 5 in Poland, where everywhere we have 1 million surrounding by a big city, Krakow, Katowice, Wrocław, they're big city. Where now the banks are searching for good projects, office buildings, everything like this. Of course, know the location. You cannot everywhere put your office building. You have to know exactly the location where you have to put it, especially when it's about retail parks, shopping malls and everything like this. By shopping malls you have to say Polish people love to buy. They love to go to big shopping centers. I think in Posen now, Christoph, please say they're now building the 8th big shopping mall.
Yes, yes. And we have also about, because no one can imagine that shopping mall number 8 will be the last one, and everyone is asking the question how will it go in the future.
Yeah, this is really, but that they're really big. They have not so big shopping centers in Berlin like we have in Gdansk or Posen. It's really, you have to come to Poland. You have to see, for example, Gdynia, we have the Riviera shopping center. When you start on the one end, you get to your, you get 3 years later to the second end, and you can go for your retirement. It's really, you're going. There are millions of shops. You will be really shocked. Nothing like this in Berlin. Nothing like this. Maybe in Shanghai, but not in Berlin. It's like this. When it's not to the residential market, all the time. Typical France wants to come to Poland and say, oh, we want to buy a ready house, and then we want to rent it. Then we want to lease it to somebody, we want to have it. Mostly, Poland is the home office, the ownership. They have mostly the ownership, and Polish mostly don't like to have the land or the lease for an apartment they have. They want to own it, even when they have to, for 30 years, pay the credit. So all the time, every of these big funds from the Netherlands, from everywhere, coming there, checking the market, but I haven't seen anybody who's really working with this project, with residential for these. I think maybe for students, maybe for young people, maybe for this, but mostly in residential markets, you have similar situation like the UK, that for young families, the government is giving a lot of money or some money that they can buy their own houses, their own apartments, flats, everything like this. So the residential market for flats to rent is rather really little in the end. What is really now working there? There's not the shopping malls, of course, all the time they're trying, and all the little retailer. Like the German Kaufland, like everything like this, they really want now to increase because Tesco has attacked, Biedronka, the Portuguese has attacked, everybody has attacked, and now everybody wants to have everywhere the retail. I've even heard one of the Germans said we have now 190 retail shops there, we want to have 400 in the next 3 years. So there's really a lot in the retail sector, a lot to do, a lot for what they have to going forward. And now we are going to the next point, is know the project. I just will flash out, because I think the most of you, they are real estate, near to real estate, near to finance. What is interesting mostly in Poland, they are this question. First is reprivatization. Always remember, Warsaw was absolutely destroyed after the Second World War. It was flat, there was nothing, there was no stone on the other stone. So the communist has said, okay, everything what is, for example, in Warsaw, we take to our own, and nobody will be the owner. So you have a big privatization problem there, yes? Nowadays, yes, there's a lot of things of this. So every time when you are searching for a project, please look exactly for the real privatization. Look on the documents, everything like this. They are mostly in Warsaw, for example. You have to ask 3 different offices for information if there could be reprivatization that you have to do it, yes? And you have really exactly to check if there's not a problem of reprivatization in the city of Warsaw. But if you have checked it, you have good faith if you buy it and everything is okay. So this is the first one, what is important. The next one is, we have in Warsaw and in some other cities in Poland, not the most time, you are not buying the ownership, you are buying something like a perpetual usufruct. For 99 years, you can prolong it, it will take 200 years, it's really near to ownership. But it's only really near. And there's one point, really important, absolutely important, every time please check this. There's a contract where the state has established this perpetual usufruct. That is established. And in this contract, there's one point, really important, is always standing there, that the man who got the perpetual usufruct has to do something, has to build up a building, a school, a house, an office, or something like this. It's always standing in this contract. And now the problem is, there are two, for example, two things which are in court. The first one was in court, that the man who got the perpetual usufruct has said and obliged himself to this, that there was a ruin and he will build up like an old house. And he wanted to do it like this. He signed the contract, next day he thrown everything away and built a wonderful new office building on this. So he has not done what was written in this. He has lost everything. The court has said this was not like the contract, it was against this contract of perpetual usufruct. You are not allowed to do this like this, so you are not anymore the perpetual usufructor. So you have to go out of the land. This was, this is the problem if you have only one slide. So this was the one. The second one we have in the finance one it was we have then seen on this. It was he obliged himself to that he has to buy a residential home. And what he has built up, it was of course an office house. So the same problem, yes? You cannot do it, you cannot say that you want residential and then you are building an office house. So you have to remember, if you go to Poland, if you have perpetual usufruct, read this contract and check if really this was built on the ground what he has said he wants to build. This is reprivatization. Read the contract of this. So now we are going to know the rules now of the game. They have a little bit changed. Normally, when we have done finance, there was all this big package. The bank was coming, we have the money, we are the kings, we can do everything. We want mortgage, we want assignment of all your lease contract, we want assignment of insurance, we want assignment of, we want pledges of everything, we want submission from yourself in notary that we can execute and everything like this. In the end, now the situation of these rules of the games are now like this, that mostly if the bank wants to do the deal, he has only the mortgage, he has the assignment of the lease contract, and of course the assignment of insurance is necessary for the Pfandbrief banks. They need this. There's mostly now they're trying no submission, no additional pledges, no things like this, only this, so the market is changing a little bit in better way for the people who want to buy it with finance in this case. It was all the time like this that the lease contracts, if you want to have a finance, they have to have from 5 to 10 years or something like this. Even this rule of the game has changed. Mostly they now want the banks only 3 years when it's about this. And because now there has less of these securities, it's from Mr. Schuster, I think, interesting. Insurance. They want more insurances. Reps and warranties insurances, title insurances, every insurances like this, because now they have less of the securities, so they're making more insurances, title insurance, rep indemnities insurances, and everything like this they are doing. So after you have now the market, you know it's a location, you have a good project, you know the rules of the game as a bank or as the one who do it, so you know your negotiation position. If it's a good project, the bank has a weak negotiation position. Of course, if you have a better, if it's not so good, so the negotiation position is better from the bank. I think this are the most, if you have flashed just up the problems, because the most you have said today, I flashed shortly up the problems in Poland which you have. So if you see these problems, if you structure the deal, it's always the finance structure, it's mostly the same in Europe, yes? But if you do it in Czech, in England or somewhere, it's not so big difference. And shape the deal and see this problem, look on the reprivatization, if you look on the perpetual usufructor problems and everything like this, they are the most important problems, then it means that I have to stop, I think. This is some then the money will come. Thank you very much.